That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Cedric D. Sanders.
They probably just eat ass with a baby spoon.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, yeah. 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 That's what he said. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what he said.
That ain't my fault.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said.
That ain't my fault.
I'm just gonna lay it down like this though.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said.
When I say my shit, I'ma repeat my shit. I'ma make sure you understand the foundation of everything where I'm coming from. Don't get it twisted.
That ain't my fault.
That's what I said. What? That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. Wow. We gon' do it like that. Yeah. Yeah.
They probably just eat ass with a baby spoon.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with your host, Cedric Sanders, giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. The broadcast starts now.
Good, everybody. It's Saturday night. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to lay back, get your favorite drink, and listen to That's What I Said podcast live on Facebook.
Let's go.
Spreaker.com and wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and all them shits. So, peace and love, everybody. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. This auspicious, weird, spacey Independence Day weekend. I felt like I needed to. Excuse me. I felt like I needed to, I guess, give a discussion kind of like on how I feel about Independence Day. And I'm a veteran. Retired Navy veteran. Some people don't care. Some people like, whatever. You just trying to benefit off of, retiring or whatever the case, or the fact that you're a veteran. Yeah, okay. Sure, whatever. So tonight's going to be a very, very short, strange podcast because it's I think a delivery of being able to really understand kind of how I see things from, serving in the military for over 20 years, and being married to also a veterans in my family. But it's always weird when it comes to Independence Day for me. And it's not because every state, you pretty much live in, they always have restriction on fireworks. No, that's not it at all. In the control setting and environment, it's not even celebrating July 4th for me. It's actually to relieve stress and just blow some shit up that I paid for, that I legally was given from a tent, from a crazy ass person that wants to sell fireworks that make a lot of money, by the way.
I was gonna say in a parking lot somewhere, right?
But that's not, to me, that's not even what it's about. And like for a long time, I've always been thinking this and just never really said it out loud or expressed it. And it's not something that just, I woke up this morning and felt like, oh shit, I want to talk about this topic. No, that's not it at all. So tonight's topic, for those that's following or listening in and want to be caught up, how is Independence Day celebrated when we the people that they began the Constitution with, before the Bill of Rights, do you remember the proclamation of the Constitution of the United States? We the people is like, I think, the most important piece to that document of what I'm getting into tonight. So how is Independence Day celebrated when we are dependent on other people for our independence that they continue to take from us? See, it's funny how these holidays fall before July 4th. Because we just had Juneteenth. Mm-hmm. Juneteenth, I think, is like the complete icebreaker when talking about independence.
Correct.
For those that don't understand or know what Juneteenth is, or that's sitting there listening and be like, oh God, here we go again. Understand history, because this is a part of American history. Something that's omitted from American history that we all have grown up to learn in high school. They talk about the Emancipation Proclamation only because of President Lincoln. When they bring up American history, they talk about presidents and they get to Abraham Lincoln. They do not talk about what transpired from that period of time. Because it, I think, forever changed American history for how they tell it.
Yeah.
It's funny because movies had to come out before they actually was to tell Black history. Even in Black history, when I was going up to school, it was like, when I was going to school, Black History Month came up. When I went to school, this is no lie. You went to the music teacher and they taught you Negro hymns.
Wow.
And you sung them. And then they had a whole ceremony where pretty much all the Black kids sang. And when you're in grade school, everybody can sing because everybody can scream.
Yeah.
Get off me, bitch! I'm gonna tell my mama I'm gonna play kickball. I said fast and bouncy, bitch. Everybody can scream. Everybody can scream. So they turn and say, hey, they got that same energy. Let's put them in choir. Lift every voice and sing. I'm telling you, every Black History Month, lift every voice and sing. And people were sitting there like, no, you lying. No, we were singing church songs. I didn't know that. But it's different when you go to school, I think, as a Black man in your same demographic, and the teachers want to teach this, to give the students an ability to say, oh, okay, this is where I come from, and appreciate it, and actually get a learning point. Because to believe it or not, I think that's the only time kids actually pay attention in grade school, outside of recess. Fuck the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s.
When a teacher was passionate about what they were speaking on.
and to be honest, where I went to school, it wasn't a racist bone in those teachers' bodies. You can tell, because all of them taught this not really the same way. They all had their own teaching ability, but when it came to like Black History Month, it was like they all came together and knew Black history. Even the white teachers that was there. But it was like they took the time to have all the students go to assemblies, go to choir, do all these things so that they can understand not just that heritage, but a piece of history.
Yeah.
But see, this is where the problem lies. And it's still a problem. I don't care how you look at it. You might have Black friends. Deep down inside, it's still a bothering point. We're still racist. We're not completely independent. They built jails to, I guess you can say, substitute slavery. Yes, it's a way of punishment, but they have to work. Which means you have to pay them, because if you don't pay them, it's slavery. So incarceration is supposed to be a rehab, reteaching tool, which is giving them people responsibility, but they don't. Well, they get that fine lesson just like you get in the military. Y'all want to eat? Y'all gonna have to feed them.
Right.
It's like, you want to make money? Shit, we got these license plates. Got somebody working in the barbershop, some librarian. You know, it's different jobs, and then they have learning opportunities, all this other stuff like that. But at the same time, it's how they're going to justify rehabilitating somebody if you don't have anything in jail to rehabilitate them with. So they give them those opportunities, but that's far from the point. The point is how is our independence, even in itself, how is Independence Day even celebrated? Knowing all these problems we have with our own people that we're not even trying to do anything to stop or even try to help, mitigate, make better.
Right.
It's like our independence is set up to where we are dependent on other people so that we can live in the house that we have, drive the car that we have. I want to protect my family. They have gun rights. Get a couple guns, so I have. I mean, we have all these things to protect us, but it seems that as the new president gets in the White House, he wants to try some more reality show bullshit. People should have known, and I'm just saying this editorially wise. So don't shoot the messenger. And if you do, I'm just gonna let you know I really don't care.
Really, nigga?
I don't. So as certain people become president, African Americans or black males, black women, blacks, feel the most brunt of it. Because nothing is getting fixed from all the years that has transpired since abolishment of slavery. Because even with that abolishment, you're still racist. It didn't come until the 60s where they actually labeled a bathroom for colored folks so they could use the bathroom or the facilities. And half the time when they did have it, it wasn't in the facility that they worked in. So some places didn't even have a bathroom for colored people to even use the bathroom in where they worked at.
That's crazy. That right there, just make it make sense. Because that makes absolutely no sense.
I'm still kind of like, I don't know, I guess astonished because, you know, they want to celebrate Independence Day and they want to celebrate, you know, this country became independent. Look at the title again. Even the United States is dependent on other people. So let me sip my shit. I'm just saying. How are we celebrating Independence Day when our very own country is not independent? If it was independent, we'd be legal. If we was really independent, we would be legal. I think there would be other parameters outside of that factor. But I also think that black people wouldn't get treated the way we get treated. Even by the police organizations that's supposed to serve and protect us. Hell, even by our elected officials that only appease people because of a vote. After he gets that vote or after she gets that vote, it turns into a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
Because now it makes it like we're still not fixing the problems of people that serve in positions in the White House. Now, this is the shit that bothers me. There's blacks that are in the White House. There's some Latinos as well. Asian Pacific Islanders, Asians. All kinds of races of people. Yet, we can't have constitutional amendments in place that allow all races to be treated as one, no matter what the scenario is. Reports need to be sent to the Attorney General, and they need to be balanced, not fabricated. Where access can be given to a government official. I'm just saying shit that I would do. It's like, oh, y'all really want to fix this? Okay, we're gonna get the CIA involved. Because they can look at these numbers. And we can start identifying where the problems are.
Yeah, and all those bills or laws or what have you that have been pushed forward but got rejected for whatever reason, they just go into a pile and sit, and nobody goes back.
Nobody goes back. They know about it, but nobody goes back.
Yeah, they don't go back and look at those to try to reinvigorate what's there. You know,
they have this, not to cut you off, but you and I both know they have this wonderful thing in the military. It's called pass down.
Absolutely.
Before any watch you stand, you get a pass down.
Absolutely.
If you're my relief, I'm giving you a pass down. You want to know what happened the last 4 hours or all day?
Correct. Bring me up to speed.
Bring you up to speed to what's going on. it basically in the last 24 hours, in the last 4 hours, especially if there's any changes, before you take the watch.
Yeah.
There's a pass down log
Show is.
that you got to put everything in. If you find anything, it's going in that log.
Yep.
But see, this is the weird thing. What's being passed down is not being passed up.
I was just gonna say, do they even think about that or do that when, you know, a governor or whatever is in office and then somebody beats them out and the new person goes in office? Do they have a pass down and a turnover and a list of things that didn't maybe make it to where it should be or what have you? And then the list of all the things that went forward so they can keep an eye on that stuff to make sure nothing changes with that.
No, this is what happens. If anything, and I'm being petty, but I'm actually being honest, this is exactly what happens. I'm going to play a soundbite.
Oops, I said on these nuts. I ain't really mean to say on these nuts, but since we talking about these nuts, all of you here to say hi. Oh my God, Becky, look at these nuts. God.
That's all that's happening. People are getting in their feelings. They'll give some of what's going on, but they feel like you've been elected, so you should know what's going on. You're trying to do your policies now. Now, we can fabricate all that shit and say, this is what I think is going on. But the reality is that I don't think it really matters because we're not understanding that we as a people cannot bitch about what's going on in this world if we don't vote.
I was just about to say, we have to vote. We have to be involved. We have to know what we're voting for.
Your voice is the one.
You have to know what you're voting for.
Right. Your voice is the one thing that does not get questioned unless they question you, which
Correct.
gives you an opportunity to do one or two things. One or two things. Let's be real. It's going to give you the ability to do one or two things. One, speak from your heart and tell them how you feel as a citizen.
Right.
Or two, shut the fuck up.
Right.
I mean, like, for real, people talk so much game about we need this and we got to do this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's your solution? Man, shit, you know, man, I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't ask your stupid ass. You the one talking. So what's going to change?
Right.
What's the solution?
Have you written your mayor? Have you written
No,
your
it's
governor?
not even that, babe. It's what other conversations are you having outside of the one that you are emotionally expressive about? Because your emotional expression to how you feel about something, but you don't vote, is really kind of going on deaf ears.
Yeah.
I don't care what community you from. I mean, you could be from that one community.
You eat ass with a baby spoon.
Because there's a lot of those people around.
Yeah.
They just want you, they puff their chest out and hike their shoulders up and want to look hard and be like, man, fuck all that shit, man. I'm just going to do what I want to do anyway. Oh, you sound like the same dude that I was just talking to 3 weeks ago. He just got out of jail. You about to go back in there. Or somebody that's supposed to, you're just supposed to feel sorry for somebody because they don't want to turn the leaf. They are hard like this because there was no relief given to them. There was no relief given to their family. This is the direct throw up that no city has the ability to clean up. But at government, do they see that? Of course they do. But we're independent though, right? We're independent. You got to pay taxes, right?
Yeah. And lots of them shits.
I mean, I'm sorry. How is that independent? Everybody's like, oh, that's a fact of life. Okay, that's a fact of life. We pay taxes. If you work at the best job that you strong just strong believe this is the best that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But everything keeps going up. Your pay ain't. But everything else, your house note, your car note, insurance, your medical, insurance.
Cost of
groceries, gas.
Electric.
Your wife's traveling on vacations and shit. The actual city trash, water, gas, all these amenities you have to have. And then everybody's like, man, fuck that. I'm going to live off the sun. I'm going to get me a dirty, a old used RV.
Oh.
Where somebody ain't never taken care of that mug. Ever at all. You don't know a mechanic, but all of a sudden you became the expert on traveling through an RV and staying at niggas' house and plugging in and doing live, videos, maybe in their living room or even in the RV.
Well,
we should listen to you, right? That's who we should listen to.
Nah. Not happening.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of poor righteous teachers out there. The old saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of us that are really trying to not be that and just be a beacon of light to people. But the problem is that light's been on for so many years that ain't nobody ever came and made sure that it don't need to be changed. And what I mean by that is that we regurgitate 20% of what we hear. And the reason why we do is because it sticks with us that much. It's something that has been said to you or something you read that has some truth behind it. And you're going to regurgitate it because it's a part of your life. You feel attached to it.
Yeah. It's almost like a natural part of you or your thought.
Yeah. But, and I say but strongly, there are people that regurgitate. Sorry, I've been mentally talking about this. And now when I'm physically talking about it, it's like, you about to say some shit that's going to get you arrested. And I'm trying to be cautious when I say this, so I don't necessarily like to say all the time. Because really or not, believe it or not, when someone does that, it's kind of like that regurgitation stutter machine that's getting ready to go off. I mean, shit, back in the day. Nigga, I ain't never heard you say back in the day.
You know what I mean?
Know what I mean? So...
Dumbass.
So shit. So where did I leave off?
Talking about the regurgitation of information.
So yeah, the problem is that some people, and that's just like I said, this is my opinion. This ain't proven fact. I'm just guesstimating because when you hear people have a conversation about something and you've heard them speak, you're going to feel like they regurgitate the information because every time you hear them, they say the same thing over and over again.
Right.
I'm going to stop you right there and actually want you to focus on what I just said. If you listen to somebody long enough and you hear something that they've said more than once, that's probably somebody you need to marinate with. Because most of the time, you can't catch someone that's got, I don't know, so many followers and always in controversy say the same shit twice. Unless, of course, they did some stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing. And now they got a lawsuit. And now they actually going back into their story and telling you their story so that, it's repetitive, kind of like, regurgitated.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want you to regurgitate it. No, man. No, he didn't do that shit, man. He wasn't even there. I was listening to him live, man. I'm telling you. It's like, but was you there? Oh, Officer Friendly head ass. Was you there? Inspector Gadget head ass. Was you there? Oh, Dragnet face ass. Was you there? Car 57, where are you? Oh, RoboCop head ass.
Were you in the same room? Obviously.
But that's the disparity that we have to work through as a community. And it's not just in our community. It's all communities that deal with people like that. But it's so many assets in our community, regardless of what background they come from, that want change. It's rewarding, but it's also exhausting because doing research on people is a pain in the ass. Finding out if someone's just full of crap is a pain in the ass. And for whatever reason, I shit that shit out in like 2 weeks. I'm like, I ain't feeling this dude. I mean, it ain't because of his voice, and it's definitely not because of like who he is. It's what's coming out of his mouth. I heard this shit before. It wasn't from him. I just met him 2 weeks ago.
The information you're about to receive.
It's some bullshit.
For real.
I need that damn soundbite programmed. The information you're about to receive is some bullshit. I mean, because that is the alarm that goes off in my head. I have like watched people do things that I think are great ideas, but they're too busy trying to sponge off the people around them instead of just being who they are and being just, 100% authentic to who they supposed to be and who they really are. It's like they're still trying to find themselves, so they sponge off of the people around them to be successful. I know we kind of went off track with the topic, but
it's okay.
I felt like I needed to say that just because I think that's the distractions that we all as people deal with that are like that. Regardless if we feel like there's a benefit, it's really not benefiting you if you don't take chances to really recognize when people are just trying to fill your sock up full of sand rather than tell you you have a hole in your sock. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You can buy a bunch of citronella, plants and put them on your porch. That don't mean the mosquitoes ain't gonna come. There's gonna be always a nigga wanting to suck something off you. So it's like when we can get past that shit, we can actually come together and be like, who the hell we want in the White House? And come together as a community and be like, okay, our pick didn't get the votes, and it's not because we wasn't out there not voting.
Right.
It's just because other people didn't see the vision. Because people don't realize if you want to play the game, you got to master the game. Be player one. Don't be player three. Be player one. Be the first one in there that know the mistakes that's going to happen because you didn't play this game before. You tired of putting quarters in this bitch. You only get 3 lives.
Yeah.
I only came in here for $5. Shit, I ain't getting no better with these $5. This is ridiculous. I'm getting $5 worth of quarters, and they tear me out the frame.
They making a profit and you not.
People don't realize when you do the math, every time you put $5 in a coin machine and get all those quarters to play a game that costs 3 quarters, you can't play the last hand.
No, because you ain't going to have enough left.
You're only going to have 2 quarters.
Yeah.
That means you're going to have to go to Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. you'll get play twice, or you put both the quarters in and you play a 1 and player 2, and you play against yourself.
Lord.
Anyway, this is how life is. It's just, we have to understand the things that are going on in our world today and not ignore it. You can't ignore it because people feel like, oh, it ain't going to affect me, so why should I even say anything about, or even feel like, have a feeling about it?
Yeah, a lot of people are walking around with blinders on and earplugs in. They don't see nothing, don't hear nothing.
I'm sorry. I don't like to play Dateline NBC when people want to come up to me and start talking about like where I'm from and what you've been through and oh my gosh and well, how do you do this now and blah blah blah. It's like, how the fuck did we turn that high and me being approachable to all of a sudden how I save money on my car insurance by switching to Geico? What the fuck? How are you serious?
Yeah, you get a 20 question drill down when you first meet somebody.
It's ridiculous. So,
yo, you don't need to know all that right now. Just, hey,
like I said,
how you doing?
I'm gonna keep it short tonight because I don't feel like a point of view from me needs to be short and sweet. Yes, it probably is inviting to have a deeper conversation because of so many points that's out there that I tried to hit. I mean, I only hit like a few.
Yeah.
But there's so many more of how this timeline of truly affects what's going on today. I mean, right now to this day, they're doing hearings on January 6th.
Still, yes.
When they basically tried to obliterate our democracy.
Right.
I'm not going to get into it. I think it's just the awareness piece.
Right. Look into your history. Look into the history of the United States. If you really want to look and go that much more in depth or have a more in-depth conversation, we're available. Hit us up on Messenger. On the That's What I Said page. You can hit us up individually on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, we do this podcast not just for us, but it's for y'all. So if we're not hearing anything, we come up with our own topics and we just go.
Yeah, that's very true. I appreciate those words because, like, I don't really have to say nothing after that, to be honest with you. I mean, I do this because this is the only space that I have to express myself. Sometimes it's better than others, and sometimes I can just create something off the cuff that I know will take my mind off of how I really feel about something or just something I feel like I want to talk about.
Right.
It's hard, I think, to even just look at certain things when you could be dealing with something that nobody's ever dealt with, but somebody's going to give you that opinion when they've never dealt with it before. All of a sudden, he or she became this resident expert on how to fix shit or their opinion about it, of where it comes from or where it originated and all this other shit like that. And it's like, some things I think are rooted in good purpose and good actual, mentality, while I think others are just rooted in bullshit. Some people can have a truth behind it, and then other people just come up with just some whatever they want to come up with that sounds good. So that person just feels good about what the person said. Both outcomes, I think, are worth looking at.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like one is built for failure while the other one is built for expanding knowledge to understand you better. But I don't think people get that. And the reason why they don't get it is because they're too wrapped around people's opinion and egos and all this other kind of shit. But anyway, I hope tonight's podcast was eye-opening and entertaining as always. Probably not as funny because I really didn't say too many things funny. Some maybe not a whole lot. But it's more of like an editorial for me. It was just something I wanted to talk about because it was on my heart to talk about when Independence Day is this Monday.
Right.
So with that being said, y'all,
love you too, Banks. Appreciate you, fam.
Peace and love to everybody that's listening and watching in on Facebook. I didn't go on the live this time because I was actually gonna talk about one of my posts that I had put on Facebook, just talking about independence. And my first one, of course, I was talking about loyalty because that was one of the things that I like talking about. But the post that I had actually posted that kind of fueled the fire of this this podcast rant that I've been on about Independence Day started out, says, stop looking for someone to give you what you ain't got. If you ain't got the bag, stop looking for the relationship with someone that got the bag. You're dependent on them, which means you're insecure to the fact that if a woman or a man take the said person away from you, then you will still, then you are still what you were when you got with them, broke and insecure. Some people want to be with someone else and not need to be. Big difference. Some people want to be with someone while others don't need to be with someone else. They would like to, but the need is not there. See, with independence, we got to learn how to be independent with ourselves. Not necessarily have to rely on other people, but if you need those people, they're there for you because you're not forcing yourself to be with those people. They're just going to be there because you're just who you are.
Right.
Then it's those assholes that suck cow udders that will believe that the relationships that they get into have to benefit them and the things that they don't have. How is a broke person attracted to rich people when you haven't displayed anything about taking care of money? And it's not because you got bad credit. It's because every time you got money, it's like hot potato in your house. It's either passed around to every nigga that lived there, or it ain't passed around at all because you ain't got none. So we have to want to have the abilities to not just make the money, but learn how to correctively have it benefit us. Like I said a couple podcasts ago, make that money work for you.
Yeah.
Don't look for the bag, be the bag. That doesn't mean you need to have a bunch of people that got the bag that's going to supply you with money, that eventually they're going to stop giving you that money, which means what? You're just going to replace that nigga with another person? That's not a job. That's a finesse. And once somebody finds out you're finessing them, they're going to finesse your ass. That's how that shit works. Everybody thinks if you finesse somebody, they ain't going to find out. No, when they find out you finessing them, they're going to finesse your ass. Believe that.
Yeah.
That's just how this world works. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying the possibilities of somebody, I don't know, ideally not fucking you up is probably low. So learning to be able to make that yourself and not have people jealous of you because you got it is two different things.
Oh, absolutely.
So being able to be independent means you know how to navigate through that shit. The master of codes is the master of code switching. And a lot of people's like, oh, that's just taking you away from who you is. Nah, it ain't.
No, because you can.
If you have the ability to walk into a trailer park and just be able to conversate with everybody there and listen to how they tell you who's good, who's not, just because you're receptive to the conversation, trust me, there's some truth behind that, and there's some goddamn some truth behind that. I mean, I'm just saying, I've lived that, and I can't lie. That was like the benefit of all things. Tapping into that I knew I have never had to do before. But now it's like, let me do this. It's fitting. The bullshit is working. So we out for the night, y'all. Any parting words, babe?
The only thing I have to say is I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to us. Like I said before, earlier in the podcast, you know, we don't do this just for us. We do this for y'all. So please hit us up, whether it's on the That's What I Said page on Facebook or Instagram. If there's a title or a topic you want us to discuss, we're happy to review it, get back with you, let you know when it's going to happen so that you can be tapped in and tuned in. Other than that, be safe out there. Parting words from my boss last week was make sure you come back to work on Tuesday with five fingers on both hands and 5 toes on both feet. So get your 10 and 10, come back, in the shape that you left in. So that was my pass down.
Man.
Peace and love.
Half these people, it's Saturday night, half these people that's listening to this right now are drunk. Or about to be. And nothing to take away from what you said, babe. Because I agree with you. But these the same people that I know that's listening to this podcast is going to get a pump. Going to look for that M80 in that box. And light the M80 in their left hand, knowing that they right-handed. And try to throw it.
And because they've been having a few beverages,
they're going to throw it right down the sewer drain.
It may not go so well.
It's going to go right down the sewer drain. And when that thing go off, it's going to blow 5 houses' windows the fuck out.
Yeah.
And he running in the house with a broke pump. My ears. Yeah.
Huh? I can't hear you.
I'm just saying, y'all, don't do that shit.
Yeah, please don't. Be safe, everybody.
But yeah, enjoy your holiday, man. I mean, it's time off that the government is giving y'all off. Pretty much everybody.
Right.
Because it's a national holiday. Imagine that shit. I wanted to do a survey and find out how many people worked on Juneteenth. But anyway, if this weekend is an opportunity for you to spend it with family, do it. If it's an opportunity to actually sit down with some people you haven't had a chance to sit down with and had a conversation, do it. Don't be an asshole. Just be a conversation and listen. Listening is the key to all communication. I don't care what anybody says, men or women. Listening is the key to all communication. And we need to have these people in, Washington, D.C. to listen to us. Last but not least, I'm going to say this, and I'm doing it for Mr. Banks, because I've been feeling the same way for about, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, maybe. Fuck Mask Out Records. That record label's trash.
Longer than that.
If I know, yeah, it's been longer than that. If you're affiliated with that record company, you probably eat ass with a baby spoon, and I'm going to play that. You eat ass with a baby spoon. And just make sure you wipe your mouth, because don't nobody like to talk to people that got shitty lips. Peace and love. We out.
Peace.
That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.
Bitch, what?
That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.